Drake wiped the sweat from his forehead. The sun was beating down hard. He wasn't a superstar here. No flashing lights, no screaming fans, just the sound of hammers and saws. He was Aubrey Graham, a guy who put up drywall for a living. It was an honest job, but it wasn't glamorous. He felt a deep ache in his back from lifting heavy materials all morning. His hands were rough and calloused, a testament to the hard work he did. Every day felt the same. A cycle of waking up early, working hard and going home tired. He didn't have much, just a small apartment and a beat-up car, but it was his life. His favourite part of the day was lunch, not because of the food, which was usually a squashed sandwich he made himself. It was because of her. Every day at exactly 12:15 in the afternoon he would see her walk by. She was a plus-size black woman and she walked with so much confidence. Her scrubs hugged her curves perfectly and she always had a bright, warm smile on her face. He learned her name was Callie from a badge she wore. She worked at the clinic across the street. Callie looked like she had her whole life together, like she knew exactly who she was and what she wanted. He admired that more than anything. From his spot on a dusty curb, he'd watch her. He'd create little stories in his head about her life. Maybe she was a nurse who made patients laugh with her great sense of humour. Maybe she was a senior doctor who commanded respect from everyone she worked with. He imagined her laugh, a sound he was sure could light up any room. But he never said a word. He was just a construction worker covered in dust. She was a queen in scrubs. The distance between them felt like a million miles, a gap he was too scared to cross. He would just sit there, eating his sandwich, completely invisible to the woman who brightened his day. He knew he had to do something. This shy version of himself wasn't getting him anywhere. He was tired of just watching life from the sidelines. He wanted to be the kind of man who could walk up to a woman like Callie and say hello. The kind of man who wasn't afraid of being rejected. That night, looking at his reflection in the bathroom mirror, he saw just a regular, tired guy. He decided then and there that things needed to change. He needed a confidence boost. He needed to stop being Aubrey the construction worker and find a little bit of that Drake energy he felt deep inside, even in this world. The next Saturday, Drake drove his old car to the mall. The place was buzzing with people and for a second he felt overwhelmed. He wasn't used to this. He usually just went from work to home. He walked past stores with bright lights and cool clothes, feeling out of place in his worn-out work boots and faded jeans. He knew what he needed, though. A new outfit, something that would make him feel less like a background character and more like the main event. He wanted to look like someone Callie might actually notice. Someone who looked like he had a little bit of style and self-respect. It was a small step, but it felt huge. He finally walked into a store that looked promising. It had nice jackets and clean-looking sneakers. He picked out a fresh white t-shirt, some dark jeans that fit just right, and a cool bomber jacket. It was simple, but it was clean. It was a start. He went into the dressing room and tried everything on. Looking at himself in the mirror, he saw a different person. He stood up a little straighter. He looked less tired, more put together. He practiced a smile. "Hey, my name is Aubrey," he whispered to his reflection. It sounded weak. He tried again a little louder. "What's up? I see you walk by every day." Still not right. He kept practicing in the mirror, trying out different lines. He felt a little silly talking to himself, but he was determined. "Your smile is amazing, you know that?" he said, trying to sound smooth. He ran a hand through his hair, trying to look casual. He imagined Callie's face, her surprised but happy reaction. He wanted to be ready for the moment if it ever came. This wasn't just about buying clothes, it was about building himself up from the inside out. He was trying to find the courage he admired so much in her. He paid for the clothes, feeling a new sense of hope as he walked out of the store. As he was leaving the mall, feeling good in his new gear, he decided to do one last mirror check in a shop window. He was so focused on his reflection, trying to perfect his confident smirk, that he wasn't paying attention to where he was going. He took a step back and bumped right into someone. "Oh, my bad," he said, turning around quickly. He saw a woman stumbling, trying to regain her balance. He reached out a hand to steady her. "I'm so sorry. I was totally not looking," he said, his face turning red with embarrassment. He had been so caught up in his own world that he had literally crashed into someone else's. The woman he bumped into was also a plus-size black woman. She had a beautiful round face and kind eyes that sparkled even after being knocked off balance. She laughed it off, a sweet and genuine sound. "It's all good. I think we both were in our own little worlds," she said, her voice warm and friendly. Her name was Diamond. They started talking right there in the middle of the mall entrance. The conversation was easy, flowing like they had known each other for years. He forgot all about Callie, all about his rehearsed lines. With Diamond, he didn't need a script. It was just natural. Suddenly, a song started playing from the mall speakers. It was a familiar beat, something with a good rhythm. Drake felt a switch flip inside him. The music filled him with a confidence he hadn't felt all day. He started nodding his head to the beat, a little bit of his old swagger coming back to him. Diamond noticed and smiled. "You feeling the music?" she asked. "Yeah," Drake said, a real confident smile spreading across his face. "It's my jam." He felt relaxed. He wasn't Aubrey, the shy construction worker, anymore. He was just a guy talking to a beautiful woman who made him feel seen. He didn't want the conversation to end, so he took a chance. "Hey, I know we just met, but would you want to get some ice cream or something?" he asked, his heart pounding. "There's a Dairy Queen right here." To his surprise, she said yes without hesitation. They walked over to the ice cream shop, laughing and talking the whole way. He bought her a Blizzard, and they found a bench in a nearby park to sit and eat. The sun was beginning to set, casting a golden glow over everything. They talked about everything and nothing, their jobs, their dreams, their favourite corny movies. They walked through the park as night fell, the streetlights turning on one by one. He learned that Diamond worked in IT and loved to paint in her spare time. She was smart, funny, and down to earth. He felt a connection with her that was deep and immediate. It was the kind of connection he used to write songs about, but this time it was real. He felt like he could tell her anything. He wasn't trying to be someone else. He was just himself, and she seemed to really like him for it. It was a feeling he had been missing for a very, very long time. As they stood under a large oak tree, the park now quiet and bathed in soft moonlight, the conversation slowed down. They just looked at each other, a comfortable silence settling between them. Drake knew in that moment that he was falling for her. It was fast, but it felt right. He had spent so long admiring someone from a distance, but this woman, Diamond, was right here in front of him, real and amazing. He felt a pull toward her that was undeniable, a magnetic force he had no desire to fight. He saw a whole future in her eyes, a future that was simple and happy. He gently reached out and tucked a stray braid behind her ear. Her skin was soft. She leaned into his touch, her eyes fluttering closed for a second. His heart was beating out of his chest, a rhythm that felt more powerful than any 808 drum. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away if she wanted to. She didn't. She met him halfway and their lips touched. The kiss was soft and sweet, full of all the unspoken things they had been feeling for the past few hours. It was a perfect moment, more real and more valuable than any sold-out stadium or diamond chain. He felt whole. Suddenly, a bright light blinded him. The soft moonlight was gone, replaced by the harsh morning sun streaming through massive floor-to-ceiling windows. He wasn't in the park anymore. He was in a huge, cold bed with silk sheets. The smell of ice cream and fresh air was replaced by expensive cologne. He was back in his life as Drake, the global superstar. He sat up, confused and disoriented. A couple of models were asleep in another part of the enormous bedroom. Gold records lined the walls, and a diamond-encrusted watch sat on the nightstand. He had everything he had ever worked for. But as he sat there, surrounded by luxury, all he could feel was a profound emptiness. His heart ached. He missed the calluses on his hands. He missed the feeling of being just a regular guy. Most of all, he missed Diamond. He missed her laugh, her kindness, the way she looked at him like he was the only person in the world. The genuine connection they shared in that park was more valuable than all the riches in his mansion. He closed his eyes, trying to go back, trying to find her again, but he knew it was gone. He was Drake, the celebrity, but he had never felt more alone.